you take a look at Article 15 of the Constitution, okay, again, the question that you're asking is, first of all, the question that you're asking is, can there be reservations on the basis of gender? Yes, we will possibly discuss the women's reservation bill in the parliament, right? Now, the question is asked, if you can, let's say, create reservations for women in the constitution, what is the possibility of doing it? The possibility of doing it is given under Article 15 clause 3. Please take a look at it, class. Article 15 clause 3. What does it say? Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. Okay? Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean is, let's say for example, if the Delhi government wants to make, let's say for example, buses free for women, it can do so under Article 15 clause 3, right? Also, for example, if the UPSC wants that women candidate should not pay any fee at all, then it can do so under Article 15 clause 3. And if the parliament wants that a certain number of seats must be reserved for women legislators, it can do it under Article 15 clause 3 also. You see the point? Okay. Now, if you take a look at Article 15, overall, when we take a look at Article 15, Article 15 talks about 5 grounds on which discrimination is prohibited. Please take a look at it. Article 15, which talks about equality of status, it says that in matters of social equality, social, let's say, respect, a person cannot be discriminated on the 5 grounds. What are the 5 grounds? Religion 1, race 2, caste 3, sex 4, place of birth 5. Please be sure that residence is not mentioned under Article 15, and also descent is not mentioned under Article 15. Do we understand this, class? Please, I want to be very sure about this. Therefore, the question is that can the state make, let's say, can the state of UP make reservations for the people who have their domicile in the state of Uttar Pradesh in an engineering college run by the state government? The answer is yes. Why? Because reservations based upon residence are not unconstitutional, because discrimination created on the base of residence is not unconstitutional. Now, you have to be very clear in understanding the fact that residence is different from a place of birth. Okay, you have to be very clear in understanding the fact that residence is different from a place of birth. If, let's say for example, if I am a person born in Maharashtra and I am living in Maharashtra, I have my place of birth and residence both in Maharashtra. But let's say for example, I am a person born in Uttar Pradesh but living in Maharashtra for the last 15 years. I have my place of birth in Uttar Pradesh but my residence is in Maharashtra. So, a state cannot make quota in educational institutions only for people who have a place of birth in Maharashtra, but for people who have their residence in Maharashtra. So, if I am a person from Uttar Pradesh but for 15 years I am living in Maharashtra, then I am a resident of Maharashtra, and if a quota is given 20% quota to the residents of Maharashtra, then I am also eligible for quota. Even the fact that I am not born in the state of Maharashtra, it is not my place of birth. Do we understand, class? Okay, so if we have to give reservations on the base of residence, you can give under Article 15 clause 1, because residence is not mentioned under Article 15 clause 1. Okay, and if you have to take a look at, for example, Article 16, you will see that Article 16, unlike Article 15, has 7 items which are non-discriminatory, 7 non-discriminations. Okay, but a person shall not be discriminated in the cases of employment under the state on 7 things. 7 things include the 2 things which are additionally included over here, which are not given under Article 15, are residence and descent. You see, so these are 2 things additional, otherwise there are 5 same things. You have religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. These are exactly similar to each other, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is extra in Article 16 is residence 6 and descent 7. Do we understand the point? Now, when I take a look at the concept of descent, descent का मतलब होता है the identity of the parents or the family that you come from. That I come from a certain parent. Let's say, for example, if I come from parents who are Marathis, and if, let's say, for example, a quota is made only for people whose parents are Marathis, then it is a point of descent. I am a descendant of the parents who are Marathis. That is what is the meaning of the term descent. No, Maratha reservation is not unconstitutional. No, because the 50% rule has been in a way flouted very clearly, openly by the EWS judgment. So Maratha reservation will not be unconstitutional on the 50% ground anymore. Okay, it's a slightly complicated history to that. Class, am I able to make you understand this part? Again, very simply, if I have to take a very simple understanding of Article 15 of the Constitution and Article 16 of the Constitution, I say Article 15 of the Constitution talks about equality of status, which means that no person shall be discriminated on the basis of race, religion, gender, caste, place of birth. 5 grounds. Okay, and residence is not a ground, but residence is different from place of birth. Therefore, under Article 15, you can make reservations also for people residing in a particular state to be admitted into the state universities of that particular state. You can make, special advancements for women and children, and you can make special advancements for SC, ST, OBC and EWS for education institutions under Article 15 of the Constitution. Am I clear? Article 16 of the Constitution talks about discriminations that shall not happen on 7 grounds. It includes religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth, but it also includes descent and residence. So even on the cases of residence, you cannot make special provisions for people to get jobs if they are residing in a particular state. Not a place of birth also, but also residing. Okay. Now the only exception to this is this part. Please take a look at this. This is the case in which the Haryana government did what it had to do, but of course it was unconstitutional. It says that if in any event a reservation is to be made upon residence, if in any event a reservation is to be made upon residence, again let me repeat it, if in any event a reservation is to be made upon residence of a particular state, then it can only be made by the parliament. It cannot be made by the state government. So for example, if you want to make under the state PCS of Maharashtra, you want to make 25% reservation for residents of Maharashtra, the state of Maharashtra cannot do it, only the parliament can do it. State of Maharashtra cannot do it, only the parliament can do it. Are we clear?